Okay, Gregg Ovens here. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Zach Fowler. We're at his editing studio here in Maine. So this is live. This is a chance for you to ask questions to me in particular. Zach's going to read the questions. And anyway, so we thank you for joining us. Ask your questions. And if we miss your comments, I may go back tomorrow, check the questions. In case we miss you, I appreciate all your questions, but except the ones that I don't like. So we're live. Fire away.
And this may be your last chance, so make sure you ask it if you got a question, because Gregg's going to be heading back to the bush next week, and we wanted to do this now before he took off. And yeah, so fire away, ask your questions. And what do you got going on next, Gregg? What's our next thing after this for you?
Well, yeah, okay. Well, first of all, I mean, we're still doing some videos here, we should say, in Maine. We've been out doing some videos while I've been here. But I got a lot of videos coming up. I'm going to spend the rest of the winter building a teepee. That'll be a video series. Lots of plans. So you got to keep watching the channel.
Somebody asked, when's the next 30-day journey? Let's just say, first off, the 30-day journey over. Ours is not over. Like, it was filmed in July. It's taken a lot of work to edit it. For me taking on Gregg's channel and doing the editing so he can get out there and do more adventures. And so Gregg's next episode will be out Wednesday, and my next episode will be out tomorrow night. And we have been talking about further adventures, not a 30-day survival challenge, but
not necessarily a 30-day survival challenge, but we work good together. We enjoy each other's company, and we work as a team pretty well, I think. And I think people have noticed that in the 30-day challenge. So we're going to be doing other projects in the future. So you got to watch both our channels and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe.
Gregg, how'd you get so knowledgeable about plants and foraging?
Well, I learned at an early age. I mean, keep in mind, I've read just about every survival book that's ever been written. And I realized early in my bushcrafting career, when I was still a teenager even, that you really have to know your plants to be able to make it for any length of time in the bush. You can't just live on meat and fish. You have to know your plants. So, and I took a real interest in it early. So I made a point of just studying up. And that's what you got to do. Study. And plants are a real big asset in the bush. You won't last long without them.
How'd you overcome the mosquitoes in the end?
The thing is, eventually, after a few days, you just kind of get used to them. You've been bitten so many times, you give up. And then I think you almost... Zach's just wiping the camera off there.
It just doesn't look as clear as I thought I'd like. I was like, so, but yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, they were really irritating to begin with, but you kind of get used to them after a while, and I don't know. You just put them out of your head. You're busy with other things, and we did get through it.
This is not a question, but you boys should do some tuna fishing.
Yeah, I think they're worth a lot of money.
So his username is Boston Bluefin, so I don't know if he's volunteering to take us out on
right? Well, maybe we'll
a guaranteed tuna fishing trip.
I'd go tuna fishing if he's offering a fishing trip, of course.
Yeah, so it'd be catching a lot bigger something out there than we have been lately.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if the fish are stocked. Were the fish in any of the lakes that we fished stocked?
Possibly in the first lake we were at, I'm not sure, but the hike-in lake, definitely not.
Yeah.
Those were natural. And the last location, they're natural as well, because there's creeks in and out. So they naturally spawn in those lakes. The first lake, I'm not positive if they stock it with brookies. For the kids mostly, if anything, probably, but I'm not sure about that. I could look into that. But
have you ever eaten something and had a bad reaction? Asked Bolt. I should be writing their names.
Okay, I not plant wise. I did mistakenly eat the wrong mushroom one time, and I was pretty stoned, I should say. But I found out why later, and this was early in my experimental days with the plants when I was young too. So I didn't make that mistake again either.
What is your favorite fish to catch and cook?
Okay, my favorite fish is bull trout. It's my absolute favorite. Now, unfortunately, when Zach and I were out there, we tried for the bull trout, but we did not even get one. So it's too bad because there is some big ones in the area.
Careful wiggling the table.
Yeah, okay. So there is big ones in that area, but we never hooked into one of those. And I mean, all the trout were pretty tasty. I think Zach agrees with that. You know, those cutties out of the last location, they were pretty tasty.
Trout never tastes bad.
No, I haven't had a bad trout. No.
I mean, you'd have to cook it with some gnarly seasoning to ruin it, like really bad. Like, even a burnt, crispy piece of trout, like making a mistake, they're like still like, ooh, that's good.
Yeah, they were all good.
Yeah,
all the trout.
And the fish heads, at least for me.
And the gophers too.
Yeah. Fish heads and gopher heads, ? Preference. I love them all. I have no problem. It's easiest to eat the fish heads and or the gopher heads just in an ever stew. You're drinking the broth for nutrients, and with some adobo, I don't know. It tastes like ramen to me.
Oh no, the adobo was great. It was good on the fish. It was good in the stews.
Diplomatic answer. I like that.
Well, yeah, you gotta be.
Yeah,
we're live here. We gotta be careful.
You know what?
So no, the stews were good though. They were good.
And that answers a lot of people's questions. Is it really good? And you're not a fan of just nibbling on a fish head the way I do.
Well, I always eat the cheeks, but I mean, usually, I mean, if I'm out, I'm catching enough fish and this and that, not to bother with cooking the heads up and having these stews like we did continually. So,
do you enjoy eating pike? Have you eaten pike?
I haven't even eaten pike, to be honest with you.
Well,
I've never been in an area that's had them. I've never been to the Northwest Territories or the East Coast. This is my first time over this far. So the areas that I have been to have not had pike. So,
yeah, we have pike, some lakes, but for the most part, we have the chain pickerel, which is like a small pike. They call them around here the chain pickerel. And so whenever I pull them out of the lake down here, and I'm like, I caught a pickerel, they're like, everybody's leaves it in the comments. That's a pike. You don't know your fish. But you look it up, pickerel, and it's like chain pickerel. That's what they are. They're just like,
I've heard it's good.
They don't get big. They're full of bones. They probably would do just fine smoking. Some of those fish with full of bones, if you smoke them enough, the little bones you don't even notice when you eat. But we've been trying for better fish than that. We tried for some catfish in Vermont. We caught trout.
We did, yeah.
We tried for bass and we caught trout.
That's all I ever seem to catch is trout, to be honest with you. I try for other species.
He's got the trout curse. Like he's got a trout curse.
Yeah, there's something about it, and I mean, it goes with my cast too. You can see it's just meant for trout.
If you stop doing that magic cast where you throw the magic out there, then you stop catching trout.
Yeah.
Can you share a time when you feared your life in the wild? I was like, what?
Feared your life? Well, I've been in lots of situations that weren't good. I've fallen in lakes. You might have seen that on the loan. That wasn't the first time. I've fallen in rivers and been swept away. I've had hypothermia a few times, and some of them were pretty dangerous situations. I can't go into every story, but if it wasn't for having a fire a couple of times after falling in a river or a lake, or because of a downpour, not being prepared and getting several times stranded. So there's been lots of situations. shouldn't even be here talking to you, really, with some of them. But that's why you got to remember how important fire is. That's always the first thing I concentrate on, is make sure you got that fire. You can go without water and food quite a while, but you get cold and die of hypothermia. That's dangerous to get that.
Will there be a Wooded Beardsman collaboration?
Well, we were talking about that, eh? And
yeah,
you know, I don't know if you've been talking to him lately, but I imagine
the Wooded Beardsman and Gregg haven't talked directly yet, but we want to. The Wooded Beardsman and I've been trying for this for a little while, is to build up a team of people that kind of like the Guggen Squad did, but like our own version, obviously, and you know, but of knowledgeable people, not just goofballs. And they're good guys, but you know, like we're our own team of peers, basically, and do an adventure together once or twice a year where we all group up for a week or two and then like team up for different videos and go out. We might even do it by starting another channel just to put all the videos on so that nobody loses out in getting a chance to get views. So as that develops, that'll definitely happen at some point.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's a good idea, but right now Zach's been so busy with this editing. Like, for example, the 30-day challenge, which was filmed back in July, and he's still working on editing these videos. So, you know, I didn't realize how much work goes into it. But well, if John's watching, I want to thank John too for doing the editing, and then Zach does the final edit on my videos, and I think they're both doing a great job. So I'm going to say that on live stream here.
Ever thought about doing an adventure in Australia? Justin asked.
Well, that's a good question, because I've been to Australia several times. I've had a lot of adventures in Australia, but I've never filmed them. And of course, now with this new YouTube channel, I was talking to Zach that's maybe a spot that we could investigate going to, because I know the area, and doing some things there. And I've also spent quite a bit of time in Papua New Guinea in the jungles there. And that was really exciting too. But those guys, man, I don't know. They're a pretty scary group, some of them.
Somebody asked, Toby, where can you use worms in a creek up the White and tributaries? Do you guys have a worm shut-off time?
There is... that's considered classified waters. We did have our classified licenses for those areas, but certain sections have bait bans during other times. The rules change so much, you got to really keep up on it. But there's a lot of closed sections in that area. It's the same with the Kootenay River. There's closed sections that is catch and release, and then there's times that you're allowed bait. Then there's times that you're not allowed bait. You just have to really dig into the regulations.
Did you have enough coffee for the whole trip? That was a tight squeeze. That we had a couple minimal cups, so that, and then we're like, okay, we got enough for the end. Yeah,
we just made it. I think when we were headed out that day, we had enough for a pot. I think, wasn't it?
I think we had a pot, and then we had enough for one more pot beyond that. Just
right,
because we had started to conserve a bit, and we're like, okay, maybe we should only have 4 pots a day. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we did drink.
We should only have one for morning and one for the afternoon or something like that. But it was one of the easier. I don't know. We like coffee.
Yeah, I was glad we had our coffee. We drank teas too. I mean, you see that we did drink pineapple weed tea and different teas, but coffee in the morning is pretty nice to have.
Where can you? Oh, I already read that one.
Read that.
You know Joe Robinette? Do you know Joe?
Me?
Have you met him?
I haven't met him.
No.
Where is he there?
No. Somebody's just asking. Nobody's ever actually asked that if we know him. Like, they're like, are you ever gonna do something with Joe?
Do you know him?
No.
Okay.
Well,
we know lots of different people in the field we're in, but that's not someone I've met.
Have you ever thought about manufacturing your bushcraft fishing pole for pay? Well,
until I really perfect it, I don't see how you could have a market for that. It's more of a, I don't know, what would you call it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Novelty.
Nostalgia. Yeah,
Novelty.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like my Duck Hunter 3000. It was like a really fancy self-propelled bobber that delivered my line out there, but it did do more than a bobber does because it was a hook setter too, so it would spring up and set the hook. I really got to do another version of that.
Yeah.
I feel like I let everybody down by not doing that while I was out there, but he did a really cool trap that's coming up on the new episodes that I think by the end of the week, his episodes are going to start getting into building his fish trap, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Zach knows more about what's coming up than I do because he does the editing, obviously. But they've all been good so far, and I'm pretty happy with the music, the editing. But yeah, I will be making more bush rods for future videos. I've got some ideas to really perfect it. And so you got to keep watching. I will be coming up with more videos on the bush rod.
You just yawned. Come on. Have you ever thought about doing a scenario of being injured and still having to survive? I was actually telling Gregg about that. Have you guys ever seen Red Belt? Any of you, if you've seen Red Belt, say yeah in the comments. The Red Belt was a movie where they had to draw marbles out, and it was a martial arts movie, and then they spin the wheel and a certain part of your body's injured. And the Wooded Beardsman and I talking about starting another channel, calling it the Survival Channel, or the Survival something like that. But anyways, that would be one of the series is that maybe we would all get together and we'd do a fun 24-hour thing. We'd all like spin the wheel and draw a marble, whether we get a handicap or not. And if we get the handicap, we have to tie one arm behind our back. And then we'd have maybe we just have miniature challenges, like starting a fire.
That would be tricky.
Or maybe we spin the wheel and we all have to start a fire with one hand.
I think that's a good challenge. I think,
and we spin the wheel and we find out if we're doing it with flint and steel or if we're doing it with a bow drill. One-handed bow drill.
One-handed bow drill. I'm in. It is doable because you'll see in the videos coming up that
we don't want to give it away.
No, we don't.
Yeah, Gregg.
He's always
he
keeps me on a short
blind
leash.
bow drill. It's amazing. He just closes. No, I'm just kidding. It's more than that.
Just snap my fingers. Yeah. And there's fire.
Everybody knows that I could just do that. Do a little Salt Bay and start a fire if I really wanted to with the edit, but we don't cheat. What do you crave to eat? Oh, they're moving along. And you're on the 30-day survival challenge is done. We probably can't answer that. We could say, because if we say what we crave to eat, did we eat it at the end or we just?
Well, I don't know how you want me to answer that.
As long as we don't give something away, I guess.
We're not trying to give it. But, the thing is, throughout the whole 30-day challenge, you get hungry at times and you're just thinking about, it gets so bad, you're even thinking about a Big Mac. That's getting bad.
You like your Big Macs. What are you talking about? It gets so bad.
Sometimes.
He's like, is there a McDonald's here?
well, there isn't craving for it.
There isn't one where you live, though, either.
No.
So it's not like.
It's not like we have any restaurants where I'm from. There's not even a restaurant that isn't closed at 2:00. So you can't hardly even get a burger around there.
Yeah. Got a nice pizza place.
Good pizza place.
Do you hunt recreationally? If so, what do you hunt?
Yeah. I've been hunting for most of my life. I love my moose meat. It's been a couple of years since I got a moose, but for 10 years straight, I've always got an elk, usually a deer or two. I usually do very well, but this year with the challenge and coming here to Maine, and I had other projects on the go, I didn't really get hunting very much this year. I did get quite a few grouse. I love my grouse meat. That's one of my favorite. And, but I didn't get anything this year, big game wise, but I usually always do.
Would you eat a skunk?
I think when you're hungry, you'd eat anything, but yes, I'd eat a skunk too.
That was from Texas jungle.
I would eat a skunk too, Texas jungle.
Did you find a bear to test your? Well, you can't say anything about that just yet. The bear, how close the bears did get and everything.
You saw some bears in the one video there, and yeah, we don't want to have too many spoilers.
We weren't lying about the spoilers that were in there, like teasers that were in there. You know, we weren't faking like that's a big bear or any of that stuff. If you watched the trailer from the beginning and things, so there's plenty of adventure to come. In fact, if anything, I would say it's just picking up.
Well, I think the best is yet to come. Yeah, for sure.
Do you ever do anything in Michigan?
I've never been to Michigan.
I don't think I have either.
This is my first time on the East Coast of USA as well. I've done a lot of traveling, don't get me wrong, but it's just I haven't been everywhere, obviously. But
somebody wants to know where you found your truck keys.
Okay, yeah, because we didn't really show that in the video. I didn't really show it because Zach was still sleeping when this happened, and I fell out of the hammock in the middle of the night, and my keys got lost in the grass, and I should have filmed it. Sorry for the suspense there, but I did find them in the grass right near where I fell out of the hammock that night.
Hello, David Ash. He says, read mine. I've been watching since Texas. That's not a question. So I read it, though. And for those of you that are wondering about the next episodes, they will be out on Wednesday. Gregg's next episode is a combination episode. That's why we decided to do the live stream tonight. He's going to be heading back to Canada next week. So this is your last chance to chat with him live because we won't be able to do this even after the challenge. We might be able to record some, get your questions and then send them to him and have a Q&A video or something. But it will never be as live as this, probably until the next time Gregg and I are together.
Yeah, and I'll be spending probably the rest of the winter out in the bush doing some other videos as well. So there's stuff to coming up. So you got to keep tuned in.
What is your favorite memory from your survival trip?
Okay, well, you want to go first? Well, I think I'm trying to think.
There's so many.
Well, the whole challenge was epic. Every day there was something interesting or good that happened. I mean, and even when you get out of the bush like now, you look back, and even though we were fighting the weather and the mosquitoes, the whole journey was an experience that we treasure. So
yeah, somebody Bolt asked how much gold. Somebody else had asked. You're gonna have to wait till the end to see that. We didn't show it in the it wasn't a huge amount,
not
but
a lot. No.
We got something special that we're doing with that in the end video, and so you'll have to wait to see what we do with the gold. And somebody asked Mookie. They asked, are you in Maine or Canada?
We're filming this live right now from Zach's editing studio here in Union, Maine. Yeah. So we're in the USA right now as we talk to you now.
The whole thing was filmed in July. For those of you that just came onto the series and are like, wait a minute, it was filmed in July. So it's been over for a while, and we're able to sit here and talk to you at the halfway point. My next episode will be out tomorrow, and then Gregg's the day after, and on we go until the series ends.
Where is Gregg from? I was born and raised in BC, Canada. I was in the Vancouver area when I was younger until I was a teenager. And after that, I went to a few other places, but I've always lived in BC.
Gregg, what is your favorite wild vegetable?
Okay, so that's
almost like a
easy
question that I should have to you ask me. Did you learn anything about Gregg? What's Gregg's favorite wild vegetable? I'm going to try this one.
What's your guess?
I'm going to guess cow parsnip with cheese sauce.
Well, it's not my favorite.
No, Doc.
That's not either.
Oh, man, I thought, but they're good ones though. You go on about them.
I gotta
so.
spill the beans.
All
Yeah,
right.
no, I mean I like a lot of different wild plants, but my absolute favorite is lamb quarters.
Oh, that's right.
For a good green. And if you've got, we didn't have like vinegar and stuff, or butter, but it's really good if you just take it home. It grows wild in a lot of people's gardens, and they just pick it out like it's a weed. But that's better than anything you're growing in the garden, for crying out loud. You know.
So, what are your plans? Tell them again what your plans are for this winter and next summer, if we can keep this ball rolling.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like what I have planned when I go home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like you want me to tell about the whole video or what?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
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 Okay. So I'm going to be going back. I've spent the last 2 years. This is what people don't realize. I've spent the last 2 years, 2 winters as well, living in my truck and being outdoors. I like to see the change of scenery. It's not that I have to. I could live in town in a house. I mean, I could do that too. But this year I'm going to build a teepee. This will be a video that'll be coming up after the survival challenge is finished. I'm going to build a teepee. I'm going to have running water, running hot water, indoor plumbing. Going to do the whole works and have more comfort this winter than staying in a truck. So that'll be a good one.
We can't answer the trout count until the end.
Mm-hmm.
And how many lures? See, I thought I explained that enough in the videos. That how many lures we ended up finding. We didn't find any lures there. Those were all lures I found and put in my tackle box and ended up coming with me to Canada.
I lost about 4. Snagged. And
I could have found 4 then.
Well,
if I had gone for,
I don't think you would have wanted to go in that lake.
No. I did go for. Well,
did you?
Yeah. Yeah, you were. I did it when you weren't there.
I heard some hollering.
All natural there. Oh yeah, you were on the other side of the lake.
I was on the other side of the lake. I heard that though.
We didn't tell, because we're only halfway through the series, so we're not telling about how many fish just yet. It's not going well for me, obviously. Gregg's reeling them in every other. I did start to catch up to him in the last episode by catching 1 at least, or at least hold the status quo so he doesn't get too far ahead. What types of boots do you wear? That's a great one.
That's a great question because I've been, ever since the Alone show in Patagonia, I bought a pair of Wind Rivers, and I love those boots. They're comfortable, and they seem to be waterproof. I bought a $250 pair of Sorels that were supposed to be waterproof, and they leaked the first time I went in the water. And these things, I could go right up to my ankles in water for an hour, and they didn't leak. So I like these Wind Rivers. I keep buying the same ones all the time, though.
Have you guys ever fought on the trip like roommates?
No, we got along pretty good. But obviously,
if you mean like roommates where we're a little annoyed with each other at times and we're like sullenly, like not talking for a little bit, maybe. But like that was like the most, and then we ate and we were like, what's up? Hey,
oh, yeah.
And chatty again.
Well, when you spend 30 days with somebody nonstop and you're hungry, you're tired, you're cold, hiking around, doing all the work that we had to do to get you that series. That was a lot of work. Some of those hikes just about killed us. But all in all, might have been irritated with each other once in a while, I'm sure. But we got along excellent.
Yeah, we didn't ever get frustrated with each other enough and for any reason so that we could like actually say what it was about. I don't remember. I remember just being frustrated in general, like camera.
Yeah, but not at each other.
No, like camera
situation.
or like the rain all the time. Like, and just like, and being hungry in between times of eating and just like lockjaw, just like, just didn't have anything to say.
Just a normal frustration, not directed at anybody, just because of the situation. Yeah. So, what you reading there?
Something about call letters. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. A radio station to listen to you guys. So,
wild asparagus. I see. What's this? I can't
Just
read it. From
just
here.
saying wild asparagus.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been well, in case you want to know, I've been planting wild asparagus in the area that I'm in for years, and I've got some good patches and it's wild asparagus that I got from another area of BC that I transplanted and then collect seeds, and I've got wild asparagus patches all over my area.
Thank you for the super chat for Gregg, Joe Oral. He's from Cumberland River.
Campbell River.
Campbell
BC.
River, BC.
Yes, that's on Vancouver Island. We're Alone. 3 of the seasons of Alone were filmed.
Oh, no kidding.
Is in that area, Campbell River. Mm-hmm.
BLW, another super chat. Thank you. What is the most challenging thing getting accustomed to working together?
It's challenging.
It's Gregg. I don't know. It just kind of happened pretty naturally, right?
Well, I mean,
you just
we just had projects. We didn't even argue about it. Okay, if you want to get the fire going, I'll go fishing, do this, do that.
Yeah.
I think we worked like a team pretty good. There was no debating about who was going to do what.
Like we did it like almost seamlessly without even having to talk about it. The Wooded Beardsman and I had harder time working together as far as filming things because we're like, I'm ready to film. And he was like waiting for me. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, man. It wasn't any big deal, but it was like, and Gregg, he tends to go off and like sit somewhere and work on something a little bit. So that's why you don't see him in my videos because he's off doing his own thing. And the Wooded Beardsman and I don't know, we were trying to film like the same thing and have the same adventure more often than not, you know? And so it's just like, I don't know, we just did it.
It worked well.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to do more stuff in the future. And we're doing stuff right now as well. So
age. Somebody says age, question mark.
What do they want to know? How old I am?
I guess.
Well, I mean,
do you not want to share that? You're like, hi.
Well, how old do you think I am?
Yeah.
I'll give you 5 guesses.
Yeah. You're the first person who guesses it right in super chat for $10 gets to keep their $10. No,
we'll mail you a fish.
Yeah. The U.S. mail, snail mail, without ice. Getting to get different. If I'm getting to get different boots, yeah, I haven't gotten different boots yet because it's not a big deal if you're not day in day out there, you know. And they're still such solid hiking boot, and I've even burnt them and melted them and sliced them and bashed them, and they're still a solid boot for the most part. So it's a good fair weather, single day hiking boot that, you know, it's. I mean, if that's all you're doing with it, if you're going to go on the long trail or do something that's multiple days, don't buy that boot. So I haven't really figured out what other boot to buy outside of a pair of mud boots.
I like these Wind Rivers.
Yeah. Your Wind Rivers just look so darn heavy.
They're not heavy.
They looks like there's so much more boot. I picked up one of them once to put it back to dry it for you.
Oh, maybe
it was a monster of a boot compared to the.
But they're so comfortable. That's why I like them. I mean, my feet didn't get sore on the hikes and stuff.
Did we leave the camp up there for future use?
What do you think we should say to that?
You can say whatever you want about going to up there again.
Okay, I'll put it to you this way. I have gone back to the location, and I plan on going back to the location in the future. You can say that.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand that question. I was kind of reading it as well.
Which would you pick?
Okay, well, does it get lonely out there? Well, of course, sometimes it does. I don't know. I think I've been doing this type of thing so long that I'm so used to it. I don't even think about that part of it anymore.
All right, this is a good one. Have you found what the fish like to bite on?
Well, yeah, of course. Lots of different baits do work. I find worms work anywhere in the world. I've caught fish in Australia, all over the world with worms. They work in the ocean, they work in creeks, and basically you see that's what we were using on the 30-day challenge as well. I swear by worms, but there are other baits that work very well as dragonfly nymphs, things like that.
Grasshoppers. We talked about that out there.
I don't remember really seeing.
No, we didn't
any
see out there. No, but
grasshoppers,
we were talking about what are the top 3 baits that you can find.
Yeah, grasshoppers would be
Grasshoppers
up there in number 1 or 2.
Worms,
3,
maybe grubs, is what I said. But you said something else. And
well,
I think
dragonfly nymphs, worms, and grasshoppers. That'd be your 3 top bait for trout for sure.
Yeah, and mostly dragonfly nymphs because they're good size and
they're natural food in the water.
Obviously, anything that you find when you turn over a rock, if it's something big like a,
and they do get big too.
Yeah, that you can, like that. Then you throw something that's already they're used to seeing.
Yeah, something that they're used to, something that is a normal food for them.
Get over to the UK. You got any interest in getting over to the UK?
I know there is the next International Bushcraft Symposium is over there. Of course, people would like me to go, but whether it fits into the plans or not, I don't know, because we've got so many other things coming up too. Both you and I and myself, even back home. We've got a lot of things on the go, so don't know if I could get there at this point.
Donald Leal asks, I love these kind of questions. Sorry to single you out on this, Donald, but you asked it instead of saying, could you have eaten more fish? You said, why didn't you eat more? Why didn't you just eat more fish, Greg? Like, I didn't.
Maybe they're confusing me with Dave that wasn't eating his fish. I mean, I caught more fish than anybody.
Well, I think what that people confuse when they see it is like, and you're catching a lot of fish and you're doing well fishing wise, like why isn't that enough? Well, you're not getting enough for the work you're doing, even though I got as many fish as I did. I mean, I can say now how many I got. I got 64 fish while I was there in the 51 days. So, I mean, I was averaging more than a fish a day. I mean, some days I caught 5 or 6. And then sometimes I went 2 or 3 days without a fish. But you're doing so much work. It's hard to live on fish alone. And there was not a lot of plant life in that particular area. I don't know what you found for plants, but I only found about 4 plants that I could use for. I found plantain I used for tea, stinging nettle, watercress. What else did I find? Sorrel. I found 1 dandelion the whole time I was there. Yeah.
1 dandelion.
I found a ton of them. Well, that's because they were all missing their heads at that time of year. And so when I was turning over the soil, I was finding all the dandelion roots and I was collecting them up.
Well, had I had that, I would have too.
Yeah. But, and somebody did ask that, and I meant to ask that of you. Will you be adding the cold steel shovel to your kit from here on out?
Well, I guess I will. Hey?
Yeah,
I should.
It's up to you. I mean,
No, I know.
Do you? We talked about.
I can see that it would be a handy thing, wouldn't it?
Of course. You used it a bunch of times.
I used it
whenever it was next to the fire. You'd always be using it.
Always used it. I mean, digging worms, handy for that. Be good for digging a pitfall. There'd be uses for it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something I'll carry around in my truck. I mean, I live out of my truck anyway, so it's something I'll throw in there.
Right.
Zach will give me one.
I'll even sign it for you.
He'll even sign it.
You can get them on Fowler's Makery and Mischief.com, by the way. Ovens Rocky Mountain Bushcraft, brought to you by and produced in productions of Fowler's Makery and Mischief.com, which has just been such a blessing and such an awesome thing to do this with you, and just so much fun to be able to team up on this. And it's just it's so fun for me. We got another editor here in my studio, and he's editing Gregg's stuff, and I do the final edit. Take about an hour and a half or 2 hours to do the final touch-ups and get things, honed to just a fine razor edge. So those videos are just snapping, and it's like I'm seeing things that I had no idea were happening down in the challenge. It's like it's so much fun.
Things when I was off filming by myself.
Yeah, and we're just gonna keep going like this. It's doing so well. We're gonna
doing so well. We're going to do stuff in the future. Maybe not
even just together.
Challenge.
He's doing some stuff this winter.
Yeah.
He's going to send it back. No, we don't live together. Somebody asked that. Gregg is just down for a visit. This is your last chance to ask him questions. This will probably be the last live stream you see from Gregg until he returns again, maybe in, I don't know. We should probably,
summer.
Yeah, it's like 6-7 months from now, 5 months. I don't know, whatever. Sometime, spring, summer, when we meet up to do some next stuff together. But he's brought his footage with him, and he's going to be shipping me more footage. And we'll be bringing you his episodes after the 30-day survival challenge. Will be to start with. Will be just one video a week every Friday night. And then as he gets more videos done, we'll have more videos from him.
So somebody's asking, you guys are stating, I guess, that we need a fishing license, even though we were doing a survival show. We had all of these permits. We had our permits in place, and we had the right permits. So don't worry about that.
Yeah. No, he was. This guy was asking.
Yeah.
It was a did. Just no question mark. Yeah, we did. And that was actually somebody else. Sorry, I missed your question earlier. They asked if we had something in place to protect us should we have hurt ourselves. Mm-hmm. And we did. I brought a sat phone, brought it with us. And so when we got to one of our sites at one point, we actually found that we were crossing over from BC to Alberta. So we actually radioed in with the sat phone because we hadn't purchased licenses for there. Because we got pushed out of where we were trying to go on one of our days. The
original location didn't pan out because
logging.
They had a logging project going on in there, and they shut that area down because of it. So we had to find an alternative location.
Even if they hadn't shut it down, if they were logging, it would just...
Well, the noise for filming.
Like, we're out in the wild.
Saws going in the background. Yeah.
That's Gregg. He's just making our tree forts. Don't mind that. We really aren't using power tools. It would have been a mess.
Yeah, it would have ruined the whole video.
Which was crazy because it was like so far out there. Like that's one thing that blew my mind about the Rockies is it was just you take it for granted because you're like, yeah, we're out in the bush. I'm like, we were out in the bush, but we're like, there's hundreds of thousands of miles
of back roads.
They're just mint condition. So you can go out there with your Honda Civic pretty much and drive around and park at spots like some of the spots that we stayed at until we finally you couldn't make it to our final location.
We had to build the road for that. And even that was tough. I just about ruined my truck on that.
Yeah. Like part of that was a wheeler trail and an old, it was an old logging road that had had degraded, but we managed to make it through it. Mm-hmm. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So it just blew my mind at how amazing that is. Because there's lots of woods out here in Maine that doesn't even have nearly the accessibility. Mm-hmm. I guess further north, I hear there is more. And I haven't adventured around a lot north. So maybe when you come back next time, we'll have to start. I'll have to start expanding my horizons further north. I've just been having so much fun since I got back out on the ocean. Yeah. And we did too.
And we have been having fun out there too.
We caught a massive lobster, taking Gregg out lobstering.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. It was massive.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Well, I mean, it's on my Facebook page, but that was a big one, eh?
Yeah, you can check out links on Gregg's page on his About thing, has a link to his Facebook and a link to his merch store and his email. So if you need, business contact wise
and stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah, right below the videos now, you can get the shirts.
Yeah, and these are pretty
and
cool.
And support more adventures from Gregg, the 30-day survival challenge, or the one that you saw him wearing, their original 30-day survival challenge. Mm-hmm. We've revamped that with the you'll get it with his name on the back and stuff like that too. So, do you? Somebody already asked that. Did you leave the camp for future use? Yes. Mm-hmm. So Gregg will probably be back up there once the snow's out.
I'm going to be going back there for sure.
Show how well it lasted and stuff.
Yeah, durability.
Is Gregg getting his own survival card? That's a good idea. We'll have to talk to Grim about that, Gregg's kind of a minimalist. If you hadn't noticed, like I have all the tools I brought along, but he's like, he's got his knife and he does his thing. He's got his ferro rod that he usually uses.
Pretty primitive in a lot of ways, but
like that's one of the things he was talking about. Tell him about that. You wanted to do which I'm like all about, like you doing a series. Like your 1 week?
Yeah, I want to do. I'd like to do a 1 week survival video by myself, and basically just bring a knife. That's about it. I'll make my fishing line, my fishing hooks, shelters, everything just from bush material. You'll see my bush rod in that video as well.
Jason wants to know any good books you guys can recommend.
Yeah, I mean, what books you like? I mean, I like Tom Brown, some of the older Tom Brown ones. You know, if you go way back into the 60s, and books were just illustrations, but now you can get a lot of good survival books. And as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about writing a survival book myself as well. So been approached by publishers about writing a book like that.
Because we built this channel. They saw it and they were like,
yeah.
They're like, hey.
And they've been following the series, these publishers and book people. So
let's see. Oh, what knife are you going to take with you on your 1 week? That's a good question.
Okay, well, there's one of my favorite.
We'll start
knives,
the bidding now at $10,000.
Well, I've got a Lars Fault knife that I bought off of him. He's a famous knife maker from Sweden. Excuse me, I just got tickle my throat there. That's a good knife, but you know, I like that knife that Robert sent for me.
I think this is where your manager steps in and says, "We're taking bids now from the closest, Cold Steel, Gerber.
Oh yeah,
you guys want to pick the one knife, then you can start sending in bids now for that series.
Yeah, that's right.
The sponsor of
see who sends me the best knife.
Yeah. Well, or who's already to pony up for the series to pay for the editing.
Yeah, right.
I
want the first copy, Tyler Wood. Yeah, well, I'm going to start working on a book as well, so I'm going to be busy, but I haven't committed to that 100% yet. I'm still debating it. I have to ask my manager first if it's okay.
You guys have any hobbies other than survival?
Oh yeah, like I like my gold panning. You saw us do a little bit of gold panning. I mean, that's a big hobby of mine. I do a lot of prospecting. I've done that since I was a kid too, and I've actually found like 1 ounce nuggets in some of the creeks in BC, like in the old days. And I've got some more gold adventures coming up. This will be videos you can catch next year too. I bought a gold claim this year in BC, and I'm going to be building a cabin on the gold claim, and I think I'm going to get some good gold out of it. It looks like if I get in there and just work at it. So that'll be cool.
And I like to do decoupage, like I cut out little pictures and glue them to a box. And no, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Crochet. He likes crochet.
Well, I don't like crochet. I liked knitting, and I haven't done it for like 5 years now. But that hat that I'm always wearing that is styled with the matches that I stuck in the side one day, and then I just have left them in there ever since. I love knitting. It was so nice. I used to knit my own socks, and you just sit there and you got some Netflix on in the evenings, and the winter is cold. It's like it's fun to do. But
so somebody's asking, what's your favorite survival book?
I really like that Primitive Technologies book. The majority of my books are all books that I bought at garage sales. I couldn't tell you the names because I probably didn't even read the name. I just noticed it like had some pictures of survival stuff. But that Primitive Technology book, it's got one of the biggest range of stuff that's in there of crafts that I've seen in any book, and instructions that follow through.
And like I say, some of the good books with the photographs instead of illustrations. I mean, that gives you the gist of what's going on a lot better than the illustrations. So Tom Brown or
for
Larry
plants,
Dinos.
yeah.
And and there's a lot of good plant books out there too. I mean, when I write my book, if I do this, I'm not going to be able to include every plant I know because that would be a book in itself. But I'll take 50 of the important ones and show the uses of them.
I introduced Gregg to hammocks. Somebody asked who introduced you, and the Hidden Woodsman Malcolm, Hidden Woodsman gear that you always see in my pack and stuff, and the satchels. He is the one that introduced me to the hammock in my frog gigging video with the Grim card a couple years ago, and I love it. Gregg's, what's your feeling on the hammock after everything?
I like it, but you know what? My honest opinion is I prefer sleeping on the ground, just in the moss and stuff. That's the way I usually fly. I did roll out of it once. I just found it was kind of hard to change positions in it. You know, I don't know. I mean, we did stay in them because safety reasons once we had our platforms. Well,
and they kept the bugs off
and
us.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, don't forget, you know, like if sleeping on the ground's fine, but there was so many mosquitoes, we almost had to sleep in those things. It was just brutal, man. Just wouldn't wish that on anybody, but we got used to it. So,
Zach, how hard was it to learn to make your own
fishnet?
Fish
well, you
net.
Did an excellent job of
that. I don't know how hard it was because I can't exactly remember when I learned how to do it. It wasn't hard though. It's really not that hard. It's like what
once
I
you
did.
Know the knot.
Once you know the, not even then. It's like just even learning the knot. It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
It really isn't. Like, just I don't remember when I learned to do it. But the hard thing was in my video when I did it was I kept flipping the net around, and so I had to like mentally I worked the net instead of working it straight down. I was working it up from the ground. And so if you've seen that video, there's a link in the description of that video, and I put together a blog post on my website which has all kinds of pictures that walk you through how to tie the net knot. And there's my earlier videos that I did, and I made a bunk bed for my kids that when we lived in the yurt, and it had a netting on it, and how I show how, and I walk you through how to do the netting in that video. And it's really, if you're building a net straight across something and you have a line and you're tying a clove hitch and then your net knots, it's really simple to do, and it's fun to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did a good job of it. Well, there's a lot of people saying, oh, you should come here and do this and do that. Yeah, feel free to give suggestions because, you know, we want to have content that we can film in the future. So if you've got some ideas, run them by us. I'll check your comments tomorrow too, when I can go through it thoroughly, because I know I'm probably missing comments. I'm just letting Zach kind of read them. So don't feel left out though. We appreciate all your comments. I'll check them again tomorrow. But somebody was saying something.
If you get a comment doesn't get answered in the live chat, leave it in the regular chat or something after, so we can. So Gregg's been going through now. We got him all signed into all of the technologies, and even when he goes back out there, he will be able to come back to some Wi-Fi, and he's going to want to see how things are going, and then he goes back out into the bush and stuff. So,
no, I didn't catch a catfish. We tried. I haven't caught a catfish here. I've only caught one fish since I've been here. Zach caught one today, so we're tied at this point.
We're tied on the new adventure of hanging out this last couple of days, but he'll be here until next week, and then he's got to head back. He was actually supposed to head back tomorrow, and so we pushed it back, and so now I'm stuck with him for a little bit longer. What plants could be used
so there's several plants that you can use for. You saw in the one video where I'm rubbing myself with false hellebore. It's a very poisonous plant. You can't eat it, but you can apply it, but it didn't seem to help. The one plant I do know that does work, but you have to keep applying it quite often, like every 10 minutes, is yarrow. Yarrow will keep the mosquitoes off you, but you've got to continually be applying it, and but it does work. It does work.
We are in Maine. Gregg's here for the visit. The series was filmed in July. for those of you coming in and are all confused. And this is just the halfway, interview on Gregg's channel. There was a live chat we did a week ago on my channel. You can check that out for the prize thingy. What in the world do we call it?
What's that?
If you want to know about why people are leaving the comments, I'm watching every episode and how you can win $1,000. Go check out that live interview that we did last week on my channel. We are still doing that, so there's a chance to win $1,000 or all my gear at the end of the series. If you're leaving a comment, I'm watching every episode or some comment in every single one of the episodes. That we'll be doing a drawing. We can't answer how much gold we found just yet. You'll have to watch the last episode. There's going to be a special reveal on that and what we do with it. What brand of it's funny. What brand of underwear?
I've never worn underwear.
Yeah,
I don't like it. Never have. Even I stopped wearing underwear at about 10 years old. I just can't handle it.
So they've been watching Gregg's video and you thought like you were seeing underwear that was not a thong, that was a paracord belt. That's a survival belt right there. That's not
Well, it's good because now you got a string for a bow drill.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll use paracord for my boot laces because then I got fishing line, whatever.
New videos will be out tomorrow on my channel for the next episode, and then Gregg's next video will be out on Wednesday, and after that Friday, and mine Thursday and Saturday. So new videos will be coming out consistently. We had some technical issues last week and got less episodes out. It was just a crash of computer technology. It was a mess.
And somebody's asking if we actually finished the 30 days. Well, you got to keep watching the series to find out, right?
Well, we finished it in July, and that we've been editing and doing everything else since then.
But did we finish the 30 days? They're asking.
Oh, did we finish it?
Well, see. Well, I mean, should we say or what?
You got to watch to find out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of cheating. It's like a spoiler if we, who knows? Maybe I fall in the lake.
maybe he's only, that's why we're only showing him from the waist up, because he's missing a leg because he lost it to a bear. That's why I'm from here up too, because it's like you haven't seen my legs since I've been home.
Lots of good stuff coming up though. So, yeah. And even if we didn't finish the whole 30 days, it's been good so far. So keep watching.
Everybody wants us to come to a challenge in their back neighborhood there.
Well, I'll go anywhere. You buy the plane ticket and come up with a plan. Hey.
Oh, somebody asked, what's that shovel? That's the $500,000 shovel behind me that you see there. That's the one that won me a loan because I was able to dig grubs and worms every day. And it's up there because I broke it when I came home for a TV interview. The TV people were here, and in front of them, I'm all nervous. I throw it, and because they wanted to see me how I throw it and stick it into target. I hit it by the butt and busted it. And I spent 87 days chucking that at a tree while I was out of there all alone, pretending I was killing zombies. I had 3 circles, and some camera guys show up. I got all nervous and on camera, and I busted it. So it's,
Oh man. Eh?
Okay. Both of you need to make autobiographies.
Yeah.
Gregg wants to do some sort of a book thing, and he's been talking to a new publisher. But we probably will, after this series, one of the things we're filming while he's here is a Gregg's life story. Some pretty interesting things. I mean, this guy, he lifted weights with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Back in the 70s.
Yeah. So he's got all kinds of
that guy that was
stories.
Asking how old I was, now
you just dated yourself. You just dated
dating myself here.
Yeah. So we got some great videos coming out that he's been filming, and some we did filmed while he was here for the visit. Showing him around his first time on the East Coast, and then getting lobsters and eating stuff and doing stuff. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So I've had a good time here, Zach. What's the
towel?
I don't know what towel they mean, but
my shamag is hanging over there.
Oh.
To block some of the sunlight so I can edit, maybe. I don't know. Do you believe in Bigfoot? Wow, everybody asks that.
Yeah, we get asked that a lot, and I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical in a sense.
We hate to say no to hurt your guys' feelings.
Well,
but
neither of
I'm
not
are,
a firm believer because the amount of time that I've spent in the bush since I was a kid, you think you would have seen one or signs of something.
Uh-huh.
But hey, if that's what you believe in, don't let me rain on your parade there.
I believe in Bigfoot more when I'm at home and see some episode with more evidence. I'm like, that's pretty good evidence.
Oh, we watched a show on Bigfoot the other
what
day.
I mean. Yeah. And I'm like, that's some pretty good evidence. Like I'm kind of convinced a little bit more each time. And then I go out there and I'm like, I don't know.
We need a wall of shame with the paracord thong.
Jeff just caught a big possum. I hope you bought some Wadobo from Fowler's Makery and Mischief.com for that possum. They taste better that way. Did Gregg ever live in Colorado?
No. I have been down that way. I have been to a lot of the states on the west of North America, California, Oregon, Washington, Wyoming. A lot of the west states I've seen, yes, but I live in BC.
That same person says, okay, then I guess you're not my dad, Gregg. No, I'm just kidding. They didn't say that.
I'm looking for their dad.
No, I just made that part up.
I know you did.
My cold steel shovel is on the way. If you ordered a cold steel shovel recently, then I engraved it. And yes, it is on the way. Because right now, everything is shipped that was ordered on the website. We try to get out our orders every single day so we can be as fast and as cool as Amazon. It's nothing like ordering from somebody and doesn't come forever. Any bad encounters with grizzlies? Yeah. Not that we're going to tell you about the ones on our trip yet, but you had...
I've had lots of bad encounters with grizzlies. I've had them come in camp, tear my fire apart, steal my food. I've been charged. That if I did write a book about it, or if we get to those videos where I'm telling some of these stories before I go, then you can see them. Watch that video because you've got something planned here. But yes, I've had lots of scary encounters with grizzlies.
Too many
black bears.
Too many just straight up tell it
would take a while to tell you them all.
Ever encounter
Wolverine? Yes, I've seen lots of cougars and Wolverines.
Really?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I've got a Wolverine story too. Out bow hunting one day, and it was just getting light, and there was a Wolverine. I could see him up the trail, just walking, and he hadn't seen me yet. But then he turned around, he saw me. And he went up a tree and he sat on the branch above the trail. So, I mean, they're aggressive, or can be. I mean, I wasn't afraid. I just didn't walk the trail because they will jump on things from a branch. So I just avoided them and didn't have a problem with them, though.
Somebody says wax myrtle works good in Florida. I will try to remember that for my Florida trip.
Repels mosquitoes, and somebody was saying something else as well. But you see, when we're out there,
I knew one that Gregg didn't know about mosquito repellent, and we're gonna have to. You'll have to give that a try. The birch bark one.
Yeah. Okay.
You can cook birch bark under a pot so that it cooks like making charcloth or charcoal. You put a pot like this and then another one over top and build a fire over, and you get tar, which you can use as an oil from the birch bark, fresh, good, clean birch bark, and that will give you oil that you can use to stain woodwork, or you can use it to rub it all over your skin, and you get turned black, but you will not be chewed on by mosquitoes. So, I mean, that's a win. Bear spray? You have to watch the video to find out if we ever had. Well, how much are bear encounters?
Well, I mean, it's no secret. You've seen the videos. I had my shotgun with 3-inch Magnum solid slugs, and I kept that pretty handy most of the time, so I wasn't too worried.
What type of? Whoa, that was weird. Like glitched for a second. What type of? What's that? Oh, what kind of percolator?
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps the grounds out. It was just a regular merc.
It was just aluminum percolator, just a camping percolator. It was nothing special.
Did I let Gregg fly the drone? No, I didn't let Gregg fly the drone.
No.
I was thinking about that while you're here to give you some starting lessons to see,
how much do you like your drone?
Yeah, it's good.
So,
yeah, I'm getting
I'll have to get
extra
one of my
insure
own.
it.
I'll have to get one. How many fish did you guys end up
You have
with?
to watch till the end.
We can't really, that question's been asked a couple of times, and let's just put it this way. We caught lots of fish, but how many? You got to watch and find out.
Did you keep your gun loaded and by your side?
Yes, I had the gun loaded with the safety on, but nothing in the chamber. I would have had to just pump it to put a shell in, but yeah. Well, a gun that ain't loaded ain't good for nothing. That's what John Wayne used to say.
You think you'd find a black bear in Portland and Biddeford or Lewiston? There's black bears all over the place. On my land just up the road a number of years ago, one strolled through the area and found prints and everything, and they ate all the stuff in my neighbor's bird feeder. But they're tiny around here, and they're not in big numbers. Like up north, you might see them and stuff, but like I'm right here on the coast. They've kind of hunted out, there's a reason why, like the moose lottery, you're buying tickets for like the northern region of Maine. There's like a divider on the hunting map where regulations are more strict down here. We're allowed 2 trout out of lakes around here. Where you go north and you're allowed 6 or 5, or I don't know. I can't remember. I have to look it up because I don't ever go that far.
Yeah.
What was that? The Krell air rifle? Exactly. Yes, that was the Krell Puncher. It is definitely a gopher slayer. It's awesome. I didn't miss. I missed one shot the entire time.
You had that thing dialed in pretty good.
After that, but then the reason I missed that one shot, remember that? I loaded 2 pellets into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have any way to prevent it. You go like this to cock it, and you bring it back. And if you feel like it's already been cocked, then you've got already 1 pellet in there, and you're like, you got to pull the clip out and load it in. So there's no like, you can't undo it until you fired it. So I loaded 2 pellets into it, and so basically when you shoot 2 pellets, they go and hit the target on either side of the target. So that gopher that was standing there and they went on either side of his head was like, sweet. Yeah. What is your favorite kind of fish?
We went over that already, but bull trout's my favorite.
Catfish for me right now. We still got some time before Gregg heads back in a week into the bush, and you won't have your chance to ask your questions except for in the comments, and he'll get to them as he can out there when he comes back to civilization for short periods of time. How can you tell if a rabbit is safe to eat? Cook it for a long period of time and
have to cook rabbits.
Check the organs. Wild animals, check the organs. If they're spotty and things like that, you can still eat the animal, but you got to make sure you cook it through. Like
trichinosis.
Yeah.
Makery trichinosis. Same as bear.
Yeah. So if you cook it, if you get it to a rolling boil and you cook the meat through and cook it for, I don't know how do you even judge that necessarily?
What's
that? Technically most of the stuff I cook like that, I cook for like 2 or 3 hours, so it's soft.
Yeah. Well, like the stews, I mean, they were in there simmering for hours. You should be careful with rabbit and bear. You make sure it's cooked, boy. You get that trichinosis, it's not curable.
No, trichinosis is
muscle disease.
It hatches the eggs that are in the meat that are in the animal actually hatch in you, and then they worm their way through your body, and they cyst up in your so when something else eats you, it can do the same thing to that thing, and that's what his whole life cycle is. So it's very painful and awful.
It's a very bad thing.
And But any meat that you're going to eat in the wild needs to be cooked if it's going to taste any good and you want to enjoy it. You almost have to cook it so long that would never happen anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You need to cook it for a couple hours.
Somebody's asking, have you ever been lost? So yeah, that's a question I want to get to. I mean, yeah, I've been lost probably 8-10 times altogether. I mean, I got lost on the Alone show in Patagonia that was only for a couple of hours though. But yeah, I've been lost out hiking in the Rockies. You get a fog or something that comes in. Now you've lost your bearings. You can't see where you are anymore. But I've been lost several times. Yeah. But the longest I've been lost for was maybe, 8 hours or 10 hours, like not for days or anything.
Do you ever taste cougars?
Yes, I've tried cougar. I'm not a big fan.
I think you're asking about girlfriends.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, I'm not big on cougar meat. I'm not big on bear meat. I've tried all kinds of stuff. Bighorn sheep is not the greatest to me. I've tried just about everything you think of. I mean, I've eaten crocodile and kangaroo and frogs, and I don't know. The list goes on and on. So,
would you guys ever do another adventure together again?
Yeah, we're planning on it.
I was waiting for.
He's gonna do it whether he likes it or not.
No, I was just waiting for you to say yeah, so I could go. No, I'm just teasing. Yeah, we've been talking about it. Probably not the 30-day survival challenge. I want to do it with a different person each time. That doesn't mean that Gregg won't go and do one, him in the Wood of Beardsmen or something, or
someone else
in a year, or just to somebody else, or with himself or with his one knife idea and go do 30 days with just your knife.
That'd be a tough one, but
maybe in the right place, right?
Yeah, in the right place
where you're allowed to spear.
And we could have done better if some of the plants were at the right stage.
Well, or if you're just allowed to do anything you want.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly.
You know what
I mean, say I had a special permit for a park, like most of the Alone shows have been in parks. If I had some special permit, I mean, that'd make the difference. But there was a lot of things we weren't allowed to do.
Like, we were close enough. We could have speared the fish.
Yeah, we could.
If we had built my dock like I did in Patagonia. Yeah, or we could have built the net. Yeah, we could have built a net out of the nettle and, and stuff. And
lots of things we could have done, but
illegal.
Yeah, we were limited to what we could do.
Yeah. Have you? I got to scroll down here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how many people we got looking in?
We got 800 people. 800 people in the house.
So we can't answer all the questions, but
a lot of people are just saying, "Hey,
yep,
too funny," just well wishers.
Well wishers as well.
Have you guys ever had food poisoning?
Yes, I've had food poisoning more than once.
From stuff in the bush?
Salmonella, just stuff that wasn't cooked proper or went chicken. I think I got salmonella from once, but I mean,
but bush,
not bush stuff.
Food.
Bush food, no, but
I've had food poisoning before, but never from bush food in my challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of.
Me neither.
During the 30-day survival challenge with Texas, we fried up some cactus, and I'm like 99% sure that's what made us sick, because the food that we ate was boiled, stewed, fried, all these things that were like super long time cooks, and there's no way it could have made us sick. And but the cactus was one thing that there are comments in different books about, saying that this cactus, some people may get sick from it. I felt like a little bit like hungover the next day, but Chris Thorne was like vomiting, sick, thought he was dying, left, got checked out, and then came back to finish the challenge. And, so.
Okay. So Dustin's asking, were we worried about mercury in the fish? No, Dustin. I mean, we drank out of the creeks all the time without boiling the water. It's the freshest water I know of. It's just comes down off the glaciers and the mountains, and I mean, there's no mercury in the lakes and stuff where we are.
Gregg, Zach, what's your favorite and most successful bush trap?
Well, you'll have to see. One of mine is coming up on one of the videos. I've got different versions of it depending on what I'm going for, whether it's fish, small game, but it's the same principle. So you got to keep watching. I got one of my traps coming up.
I think my most successful and easiest to build one and could still work in multiple situations, like, is the one that I did in my Duck Hunter 3000 video. So if you look that up, you'll see it's a spring-loaded stick, and there's a trigger that comes out, and you can use it for fishing. It could have a snare noose for a rabbit with a light wire on it. It could have a hook on it and be baited and catch a bird. You know, I mean, there's any number of things you could do with it. It's fairly easy to build, or at least I found it easy to build. But yeah.
What is your 2 must-have tools? You got to have a knife, and you got to have probably a ferro rod. Yeah, you can do friction fire, but we both took ferro rods, as you saw. You can't go in the bush without either one of those, pretty much.
Yeah, because I mean, even just our 30 days for survival challenge just the other day, for instance, like, if we had just showed up with nothing and we went like, oh, we're gonna go and start a bow drill. Like, it rained so much,
Yeah,
you know, that we might not even have been able to get a friction fire.
Would have been hard. I'm pretty sure we would have done it, but
only because we're so persistent.
You don't want to rely on friction fire when it's raining like that. So those tools you got to have.
Have you guys ever had beaver?
Yes, it's really good, actually. It's a rich, sweet meat. I like it.
I like it.
And porcupine is good too. But beaver is a very good meat. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good for the first 5 days. And then you're just like, I want something else. Me and the Wooded Beards, when we were living off of it at one point, I was like, it was good.
Who makes better coffee? He likes his really strong. So
it's not a matter.
It's not,
we got to figure it out. Like, he would take his out, and then I'd keep cooking
and put it back on. So he likes his stronger.
I thought I saw a Sasquatch, but then it was just Gregg off in the bushes doing his business. No, just kidding. No, we never seen a Sasquatch.
What's your favorite way to hunt?
KV, thank you for the super chat. It wants to know, what's your favorite way to hunt?
Well, I mean, my favorite way is with like a bow, but it's still, a lot of times you can't even get a shot. But as far as the excitement, when it comes to hunting, the excitement, bow hunting is my favorite for excitement. But the meat's never as good when you do get an animal, because they bleed out. They always run. It's not as good as a good, clean shot with a rifle. But it is my favorite because of the excitement.
Have you ever hiked the top peak of a mountain?
Yep. But not mountains as big as where he and I were. Not right to the top of those. Can you imagine? Remember that hike in Lake? Can you imagine trying to go to the top of those mountains?
I know. I thought about that when we saw the goats.
Yeah. Can you imagine going up there?
The further you get in and the get up, like, they're like super steep.
They keep going. Yeah.
They just keep going, and they're so steep.
Yeah.
Those goats were nuts.
Were you in the White Swan Lake area, or was it more northeast? Well, can't give out the location per se. It was in the Rocky Mountains.
How are the offspring, Gregg?
Oh, is he talking about
your daughters?
My daughters?
Apparently.
Girls are doing good. Both my daughters are doing good. My daughter in Australia is doing fine. My daughter in Kimberly is doing good.
So
she's probably watching. I think they're both probably watching.
Perfect timing to ask an embarrassing question.
Whoa.
How do you poop?
Not gonna answer.
He's squat.
Same as everybody else.
Yeah,
he did a video on it.
I did a video on it. Okay, so
I'm not too concerned about
the 30-day survival challenge. We're not gonna limit ourselves. We do whatever we want to do. It's my challenge. I don't have to beat 10 items or whatever. So the only rule is, if you want to eat, you got to catch and cook it. So we were gonna bring toilet paper and we forgot toilet paper. So
we made do.
We use the usual moss
There's lots of things
pine
you can
cones.
use.
Great pine cones are great. You just make sure you go slow.
It's just too bad we didn't have cactus there.
Oh man, cactus
would have been the best.
Oh, that's the best. It really gets those hard to reach areas. What knife do you recommend? Are we talking about the ultimate or the? There's so many good knife makers.
There's so many good knife makers. You know,
I mean, usually the price reflects of how great of a knife you're going to get. That's a good question, because like you know, you could have a good knife that you keep a good edge on from, you know, Gerber, Cold Steel, you know, one of the big guys, and you could pay, you know, $48 to like $79 for a solid knife, or a little bit more for even their better version, or you could spend $250 or something like the one I have on my website from wow, I don't even know.
It's your website.
Yeah.
He's got so much stuff on there you can't remember.
I just had a brain cramp. But from a better knife maker, like a professional knife maker. And it's like you get what you pay for. Yeah,
you do. But I mean, I don't know. I sure like some of the Swedish steel and stuff. Like they've always have good knives. But yeah, you gotta have a knife. The thing is, you gotta be able to have a knife that you can sharpen razor sharp. That's a sharp knife is a good knife. So if you got one that holds an edge and you can get super sharp, that's the knife you want. I've seen these stainless steel knives made in China and this and that, and you can't even get an edge on them sharp enough to cut yourself with. I mean, a dull knife's no good.
Takes a lot. It takes way too much work and diamond stone and all this stuff. Whereas a good steel knife, you can get an edge on that. That'll just last so much longer.
Yeah. I never buy stainless steel knives.
Yeah.
I always, my knives rust, but I mean, I clean them up, but that's the kind of steel you can get an edge on though.
Yeah. Rockies in America. I'm not sure how that's going.
Well, I mean, you know, like every situation's different.
What is the strangest thing you've ever encountered in the bush?
The strangest thing. I don't know really I can't really think offhand what the strangest thing is.
Which one of you had the most video views?
Well,
Gregg just started his channel.
My channel's only been out for a month.
Yeah.
But, Zach's has been out for 4 years.
Let's just say that Gregg's,
it's doing well.
My first 6 videos never got nearly the amount of attention and views that his did. Mine were just some silly things. You can go back and scroll through them and see it for yourself. But that's why Gregg's are doing so well, because him and I have collaborated to build his channel. And so I'm taking everything that I've used over the years to build a successful channel to build his. So
it's going good. Thanks to you guys.
Favorite genre of music?
I like classic rock. I like my AC/DC. Leonard Skinner is probably one of my favorite bands. I like CCR. Who else? That type of music. Bad Company.
I like audiobooks. So, I mean, I like the music that I pick from Artlist that I use in my videos and in Gregg's videos. And I like the music as I'm listening to it to pick it. So that's kind of the music that I like if I listen, but I don't ever just choose to listen to music. I don't ever put on music. I always put on an audiobook.
I like my music, but I don't listen to it all the time like I used to.
I mean, sometimes I'll pick music, but like Christian music, worship music, or something like that if I'm in the mood for it. But or holiday music. Get nostalgic. But he did start with a fairly YouTuber. Oh yeah, okay. Did
mosquito repellent. Well, there's lots of things you can use for a mosquito repellent in the bush, but they don't work like store-bought ones.
That just reminds me of that Kramer that Seinfeld episode where he uses butter and he goes up to the rooftop. Have you seen that?
He gets cooked.
Yeah, he gets cooked and he smells him.
Yeah.
I think I used a clip from that in one of my videos for this series.
All right. So there's still a lot of people on here, so I guess we got to continue answering.
We'll go
more questions
for a couple more minutes, because then it's gonna be up to an hour and a half. So
yeah.
So Zach, has Gregg given you a
string thong?
String thong. Yeah, he made me a paracord one. I refuse to wear it. No, I'm just kidding. Have you? Things are moving too fast.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta slow it down here. The news feed here. Have you had
heard of Romania? Well, of course.
Yep. We've heard of Romania.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got friends that have come from there. No,
I'm reading the same stuff again.
So yeah, we gotta try to find some new interesting stuff.
Looks like you guys are. I'm not saying maybe some. Have you ever been stopped? A forest ranger.
Oh yeah, lots of times actually.
Yeah.
Lots of times. They know me quite well in the area I'm from. I've been in that area for 30 years and I know all of those guys. I run into them. But after the Alone show, I mean, all these conservation and fire wardens, they all know who I am. And, Gregg, so how was your channel doing this and that? Or what are you up to? Or, yeah.
How many days do you spend in the bush per year? It might be easier to say how many days you don't spend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I spend 80% of my time in the bush year round. 80% probably. I come out, have my showers. There's times you get bored. The weather's bad, so I'll come out and stay at a friend's or something when the weather's too brutal to want to deal with. But I'm mostly in the bush year round.
Up to this point, what two lures were doing the best between you two?
Well, my pink lure, up until I lost it, that always got me fish, always. And then I did lose it on the trail, but I found it the next day right where I put the camera to do some videos, and I looked and it was right there by the camera. That was lucky, but I eventually lost that. I wish I would have brought a couple more of that same lure because that lure never let me down. So
yeah, I think the pink, helps.
The pink worked.
But we also develop a theory about lures later on that I share in the series and stuff. And my one that I found here in Maine and brought with me, that was the little rubber fish in the last episode or the one before? The rubber fish that one worked the best. It was flashy. There was like a little rubber bait fish on it, and I'd hook a worm behind that, and they loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we did well. We did well with the fishing.
Gotten worms and parasites.
Have you ever gotten worms or parasites?
No,
I've never got parasites or any worms from anything I've eaten. No. But I'm always careful to cook my meat properly. And I mean, you're not going to get poisoning from plants unless they're poisonous plants. So, I mean, you don't have to worry about cooking any edible plants.
Thank you, Mason Berry, for the super chat. And you are welcome. He's just saying thank you for the videos and everything you do. It helps me feel like I get outdoors when I can't. Yeah. Just teasing, not your photo. I hear that.
So make sure you share both our channels when you're watching this too, because that helps us out. Because we got future plans. I'm kind of relying on this to be able to do this full time. I got to get as much support as I can. So watch them twice and share. Watch them 5 times.
Yeah. Put it on autoplay. Go to
autoplay.
Yeah, put it on autoplay and go to sleep. We should just do that. It's like a fundraiser. Like, it's fundraiser time, boys and girls. If you're a supporter of this channel, you don't have to give anything, donate anything. Just plug your phone in. If you have YouTube Red, or you put it on. Oh yeah, you'd have to have YouTube Red because you can play it with the screen off on YouTube Red, and then you can turn the volume down and just let them autoplay and go to bed at night.
Yeah.
If you don't have YouTube Red, you can plug some headphones in and leave it in the other room, plug your phone in, and just let it autoplay our series to give us some free views and build it up.
It's going well. I'm happy. Zach's doing a great job. Like I said earlier, those that are just have come on maybe didn't, you know, his editing is fantastic. I'm really happy the way the channel's going. So I want to thank everybody that's been watching and subscribed.
I think that's a good place to end it. You just
I think
pretty much
so.
wrapped it up right there. I'm tired.
We're both tired. And
it's been a long, wet day of ice fishing. First time on the ice this year. It was great.
Yeah, he got one. I didn't. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you the truth. I had one. I just about had him out of the hole. And the camera was there, but I had it covered with a coat because it was raining. And by the time I got the coat off and got the camera on play and this and that, the fish got off. Had him on for about 10 seconds. So that's my story of the night. If you want to hear future stories, you got to watch future videos.
Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, and turn on notifications. New video on Gregg's channel will be out on Wednesday, and my next video will be out tomorrow night. So we will see you there. We'll chat live with you while it is airing.
Thanks for watching. Ovens Rocky Mountain Bushcraft. Thanks to Zach for setting this all up here. And keep watching our channels. Thanks for tuning in.